Heather.
What?
Heather.
Can I help you?
Heather.
What?
I'm so excited for tonight.
Why are you excited? Because Violent Night's on Prime? Like, what's going on with you?
Okay, I am excited because Violent Night's on Prime because I really want to see it.
I like David Harbour.
I really want to see it. Yeah, it's going to be amazing.
I'm excited.
But I'm excited for something else, something specific about tonight.
Okay, I'm going to guess that since we're behind our barrel, we're going to...
We are behind our barrel.
We are. We're going to... It's our barrel. We're going to taste some bourbon, talk about it, rank it, and probably roast each other a little bit along the way.
Yeah,
Sum
okay,
it up?
so that we're going to do that.
Okay.
That's a definite.
So why are you excited?
But that doesn't say why I'm excited about tonight.
Why?
Because tonight we are concluding what has been an over 2-month journey through pain and challenges. It's been a 2-month journey.
B.
Yeah?
B. 2 months is nothing.
I mean, it's nothing.
I've just dated 2 children. That is 18 total months of pain and suffering just to get to a point of insane and immense pain. So forgive me if I'm not ready to award a gold medal for 2 months.
Okay, that's not my fault. You had to carry the burden. That's Eve's fault. I want to make it clear to all of our viewers that I had nothing to do with your children.
Continue.
But what I'm excited about is because tonight we take the 2-month journey where we had originally 16 bottled and bond whiskeys that we narrowed down to 8 in our Elite 8.
Okay.
And now we are down to the final 4.
Okay.
But tonight, we're going to name one champion.
Okay, B. So I was actually kidding. I'm really excited for tonight and to taste these 4 bourbons and declare a champion.
So you're really excited?
I would be more excited if you would stop poking me and you would pour us some delicious bourbon.
Katie already pulled the bourbon.
Well, then let's go.
And that means welcome to Tortured Bourbon's Bottle and Bond Final 4.
Let's do this.
Jazz hands. What's up, Heather?
B, you know what is up. We are here to crown a champion, and I hope all of you out there are as excited as, well, if you could be as excited as B is, then you're really winning today. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Tortured Bourbon. We have been on a mission to find the best bottled and bond bourbon that we can pretty easily get our hands on.
First world problems.
Talk about it.
Boom.
Second.
And if this is your first time with us, what took you so long? I know what it was. The algorithm sucked. Second, we've linked the entire Bottled and Bond playlist right here above Heather's head. Now, after that, check out our other episodes. Now, if you're looking for some serious bourbon commentary, intellectual reviews,
set up
and
straighter.
some life-changing revelations, find another show.
Yeah, this isn't your home. But if you like a whole lot of sarcasm, pop culture references, history, lots of musical references, and 2 people who just really like drinking bourbon and roasting each other, welcome home. These are your people.
Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, but most importantly, comment. And I just don't mean talking to the screen. Type something in the comment section. B needs to shut up. Annoy me with jokes about my age. Tell Heather she's your favorite. She yearns for your, what do y'all call it?
Validation.
She yearns for validation.
I'm a millennial.
I could care less. And let us know what bourbons or cocktails you want us to try next, as long as it's not a Manhattan. No more Manhattans. I'm not drinking any more Manhattans.
Totally sneaking one back into another episode.
They suck.
We'll talk about that in 2025. Now that all that business is out of the way, other than the whole Heather's your favorite thing, you can stay on that as long as you want to.
Oh, good God.
Let's talk about the final 4. So, like B said, we started with 16 contenders, put them head to head, blind tasted them, and then we narrowed it down to 8.
Yes, and in that, we actually did like on like. So we did price point on price point. We didn't do like a 1 versus 16. We tried to actually put challengers against worthy opponents. But from there, we went blind again. We were blinded by the light, revved up with the deuce. Anyways, and now we're left with...
Remember those musical references? There you go.
Yeah, there we are.
There you go.
We're left with 4 heavyweights. Tonight, we aren't leaving here until we've crowned a champion. Katie makes me go to bed.
There you go. That's right, B. We are tasting these blind again, so we're going to attempt to identify them. And in the process, we're going to give you a front row seat to watch us make complete fools of ourselves. But we're also going to declare a champion. That I know we'll be successful at. Boop.
Quick shout out to my wife. She's amazing. She is also the mastermind of our Aussie Rules episode, which we have Aussie Rules 2 Electric Boogaloo coming out. And one who she has set up the entire blind tasting. We don't have a clue what's order they're in, what number they represent. We're basically guinea pigs here. If we were in Australia, we'd be little wombats.
All right, B. Let's meet our contenders.
All right. If we had the money right now, we'd be playing that bum, bum, bum.
We would, but we don't. So don't get us in copyright trouble,
All right.
please.
So,
Please.
in the number 1 seed, from the makers of Buffalo Trace. You heard of them? The
Once
one,
or twice.
the only E.H. Taylor small batch.
It's classic.
Classic.
All right, y'all. And then in the number 2 seed from Brown Foreman, which is really blue blood royalty of bourbon, we have Old Forester Bottled in Bond.
Whiskey Row Series, 1897. Cha-ching.
Which was when the Bottled in Bond Act was passed. For you history nerds out there.
Yep. Now, in the 3 spot, the gritty underdog, but also the flashy new age competitor, straight out of Bardstown, go figure, Bardstown Origin Series, Bottled in Bond.
They really buried the lead there with the whole Bardstown in the name.
They did, but I tell you, it's a gorgeous bottle.
It's beautiful. I love
and
the
who
tree.
who is a sucker for packaging?
Me.
The millennial.
You know I love that.
Just give me some grunge, baby.
Okay.
I just need the music.
Finally, the Cinderella story, hailing from Greensboro, North Carolina, where all the best Cinderella stories are made.
Gate City represent.
Fisher's Bottled and Bond from Fainting Goats Distillery, which is a great name.
For those of you who don't know, this show resides in the great state of North Carolina.
So it's a hometown hero.
Hometown hero, made by hand by people who give a damn. Says so
Great
on the bottle.
slogan. I want a t-shirt.
Oh, yeah. Call us back.
Yeah, we DM'd you.
A bunch.
You know?
Are you ready?
B, I was born ready. Let's do this.
All right, so we have our bourbons.
We do.
They're labeled number 1 through number 4, which is what we've been doing in all of our tastings. Go watch those videos. And now we are tasting number 1.
We are. Well, first we're going to smell it.
We're going to smell it. I'm going to swish it and look at its legs.
Oh, well, okay. I'm sorry. Skipped the legs.
I like legs.
We know. Everyone knows. If you've watched one episode, you know. Probably our most used B-roll. I get some oak there. Some vanilla.
Absolutely.
Not a strong ethanol.
No, I get a very traditional smell. If you've ever smelled a good bourbon, this is what a good bourbon will traditionally smell like.
Write that on a postcard. I definitely get some vanilla. I taste the oak too. What else you getting?
Oak on the finish. A toasted oak. Not a heavy oak.
But yeah, like a toasted
oak. We use the term toasted oak. I don't get a number 4 alligator char Russells.
Yeah.
I have no idea what char number 1 uses, but I don't get the...
But you don't get the number 4.
I don't get the... And it might be. I don't know. I get oak. I get vanilla. I get a little pepper on the end.
A little rye.
Yes.
Throughout. And yeah, I would agree with the little bit of pepper on the end. Yep. This one has a little spice throughout.
It does.
All right. So, do you know what you think one is yet, or are you gonna wait till we're done with all of them?
Wait.
Okay.
Making my notes. Okay, so here we have nice legs. I've seen thicker.
Yeah, I was gonna say even number 1 was.
But it's not thin. I mean, it's got
it's
some
there.
nice, got some
it's
nice
there,
roll.
yeah.
It's got some nice roll. I get nuts up front.
Yes.
Get some nuttiness. Peanut, that being.
Yeah, the smell is definitely more of a peanut. And I feel like the taste has a nutty taste. Maybe like a wheat grain. It's pretty mellow.
So one of these is a wheated bourbon. That is the Bardstown. So one of these we are expecting it to be grain forward. We sometimes have used the term
Earthy
or farm forward. I'm getting that.
I definitely get the nut though, both in the smell and the taste. That's also my dream job.
Obviously, peanut and oak should have some similarity. But what makes the oak? What does the peanut stand? Because the peanut definitely stands out. Because in the weeded, if this is the Bardstown, in the weeded Bardstown that we have, watch our sweet weed episode.
Yeah,
we smelled nutter butter.
Like solid.
We put that bottle on notice that we would be ordering more.
Yes, we absolutely did. And you're right, the nut carries through both from the smell to the taste to the aftertaste to the finish. If I had my educated guess, I would think that's the weeded and that's the Bardstown. And it's my show, so I do have my educated guess. So that's it.
You heard it here, folks. It's her show.
Oh, I'm sorry, our show.
It's her show.
I let you co-host. I'm kidding. It's B's show. I'm just along for the ride.
Yes, dear. I have a work wife. I have a real wife. I have a tortured bourbon wife.
Dude, what did you do in a past life?
Good God. One of my favorite Gen X movies is called Singles. And there's a great line and he goes, so when my dad left when I was 15, he looked at me and gave me one piece of advice. Son, stay single. I mean, it's just...
Well, you clearly didn't listen.
Meanwhile, I'm over here with more.
One legal one and a couple that you just have to take direction from. That sucks. I get what we call that tobacco, earthy farmland after a summer rain. I taste the tobacco too. This is even more grain forward than number 2.
But there's more rye at the end.
That's a fair point.
Where the other there is not a pronounced rye because I don't think there's any in there. But so
I think 2 is Bardstown and I think 3 is Fisher's. I'm holding out on one.
I'm with you. Number 4, otherwise known as our 4th pour.
This has nice legs, B.
Very similar to number 1. Vanilla.
I get a little more of a caramel smell in this one than I did in number 1.
Very similar to 1.
But I get more sweet up front.
Maybe, yeah.
I get more of a caramel flavor. In 1, I don't really get much of a caramel flavor. There's some oak in there. It's a very mellow finish.
Agreed. I do think it's coating my mouth a little bit.
And
you mentioned the legs.
I like the mouthfeel of 4 the best, I think, of all 4.
Our ego is to get 4 out of 4 naming what these are, but that really wasn't our goal.
No,
our goal was to taste these 4 blind and decide which one
is the best.
Is the king of the barrel, king of the tortured bourbon, king of Casa de Russo.
Or queen.
Or queen. Or queen. Or champion.
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 There we go. We'll go gender neutral.
Like the 3-legged dog in Parks and Rec. Champion.
Champion. It's about what that's very good representation of our show. It's like the 3-legged dog named Champion.
Yeah. So here's where I struggle because on any given night, 1, 2, or 4 could be my favorite.
Mm-hmm. I would agree with that.
1 and 4 are to me, as traditional as you can get. 2 brings something a little different to the table, and I really like that nut taste. But I bet there are days where I'm not going to want it as much.
So that's a good point, B, because while, like you said, tonight you might enjoy a nutty flavor, that might not be what you want all the time. Whereas 1 and 4...
Smell it now. Now that you've had all 4, smell it now.
It's peanuts.
Oh, yeah, it stands out now.
Absolutely peanuts.
It stands out now.
And shout out to my friend Maggie in Tennessee because I brought Goo Goo clusters that you sent full of peanuts and peanut butter for B for after the show. So it's going to be pretty excited. Those are a Nashville specialty.
If you eat peanut butter with a spoon out of the jar, you and I can be friends. If you then allow the dog to lick the spoon, we can be friends as long as you don't put the spoon
back in the peanut butter
jar.
I think that it's like bacteria and stuff. That's a line.
Back to planters.
1 and 4, like you said earlier, have that classic bourbon flavor that's just solid all the time. Like you would never pick 1 or 4 up and be disappointed. I might have changed my mind. Of which is which. Something about that last taste.
No, don't.
I'm not.
No. Which one is your favorite? That's all I care about
That's
right
fair.
now. It's a struggle for me. This is okay. I'm going to make a prediction. 1 or 4. They are both. Well, one of them is going to be Old Forester bottled and bond, and one of them is going to be Colonel Taylor bottled and bond. If we cannot truly sit here and continuously tell the difference between 1 and 4, and those are what we're getting this down to, we are fortunate. We're fortunate, and maybe we don't want to develop our palate anymore. Because while this is supposed to MSRP for around $49.50, no one...
We can't find it
You
here.
can't find it for that. To get it here, you're paying $70 a bottle, but normally more than that.
And
simply
shipping.
for the fact that it's allocated.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not unusual for people to pay $100 a bottle for this.
Right.
This is for the small batch. This isn't for single barrel. This is a...
The rye or
Yep.
anything like that, yeah.
Whereas available at any ABC store in North Carolina, sometimes for as low as $45.
Mm-hmm. I think that's what we paid for this bottle because it was on special.
Yep. I think either way, what we're proving here is if we take the labels off, if you can tell a difference, good for you. Your palate is much more developed than ours. But what we're looking for is, and I'm not saying we won't go. If this is what I think what we're saying, we both agree that we think number 1 is Old Forester. We're going to go with it. To recap, to our lovely producer, who is an amazing Australian. Number 1, we believe is Old Forester, and it is our champion. Number 2, we believe is Bardstown Origin Series, bottled and bond, that we think at times actually is very unique because of its nutty flavor and that it is our weeded of these.
It is very good.
Fisher's is our micro of the group. It is from North Carolina, and we are excited about its grain to glass, and it's very farmy, but I doubt it's for everyone.
This one would be very polarizing. I would have to know someone's taste very well.
And it's distilled for us, to be quite frank.
Yeah.
Every smell in there is us.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But it is not necessarily
It's
a
perfect
traditional
for us, but
bourbon.
it's not something everyone would love. Yeah. And
One
that's okay.
1 and 4 are bottled and bond bourbons from Kentucky.
And I could go either way on any given day, but we think...
And for tonight, we're going to believe that number 4 is Colonel Taylor.
And it's number 2 for us overall.
But I feel confident that on any given day, I could drink 1 or 4.
And
we could put a crown on either one of those
I
bad
could
boys.
recommend it. I would share it. Yeah.
But tonight, we're going to go with number 1.
We're going to go with number 1.
We're going to go with number 1. All right, so tell us how we did.
I don't know what you put in 3rd and 4th place.
Excuse us.
3rd place is what we poured as number 2, what we think is Bardstown. And 4th place is what we think is in glass number 3, which we think is Fisher's.
Perfect. Okay. In 4th place is pour number 3, which is the Fisher's.
Okay.
Check.
In 3rd place, pour number 2, Bardstown.
Well, we were right that we would get to this point.
In 2nd place, pour number 4, Colonel Taylor.
Boo.
And that means that your grand champion,
It's
bottled and
Old
bond,
Forester.
is your Old Forester, pour number 1.
Also means we got him right.
Wow. Well,
That was
So
a
the-
struggle. And honestly, it was a little bit of a toss-up.
yeah.
Yeah.
We could have done that again, and we would have been wrong.
Yeah.
If there's any validation, we can drop $50, have a quality bourbon,
And be so happy.
and be so happy. Yes, and be happy. If we happen to find the Taylor,
Grab it.
grab it.
It's delicious.
Especially if you can get it in MSRP.
Oh, if you can get it at MSRP, stop what you're doing and call us immediately.
Yeah, and here's the deal. Part of it is that you can't get it.
You're absolutely right.
I remember.
You're absolutely
I vividly remember the first time I was able to get a pour. And I was able to get a pour of the small batch. I was able to get a pour of a single barrel. And I was able to get a pour of a barrel select. And that vertical tasting.
You thought you had arrived. It was a good day.
It was a heck of a night. But there is something cool that you can do with Colonel Taylor if you can get it.
If you can find it. And it's not cheap.
It's not cheap. Now,
Those 3 pours were probably not
They were not cheap. Now, the cool thing is we have seen this for as low as $13 a pour.
That's pretty rare, though.
But we have.
We have. You're right.
And that's a great way to taste it.
I feel like I usually see it more around the 25 to 30 range.
But it's good stuff.
Oh, if you see it at $13 a pour, that needs to be your pour. It's very good.
But this is the champion.
It is the champion.
No, but I would...
And I'm happy with that.
But if you are into wheated bourbons and you like peanuts...
Grab it. Honestly, grab several of the Bardstowns.
Now, here's some things we love about them. Number 1, this was distilled in fall of 2017, and guess what? It's on the label. The next thing that's on the label is the origin, Bardstown. This is a 6-year-old product. It's 68% corn, it's 20% wheat, and it's 12% malted barley. So you've got an age statement, and you've got a mash bill, and you have origin. And now, for those of you who are unaware, when it says it was bottled somewhere, that does not mean it was distilled there.
Correct.
There's a difference in your distillation, your bottling, and your aging.
Correct.
This is telling you up front that it was whiskey distilled and bottled by the Bardstown Bourbon Company in Bardstown, Kentucky in the fall of 2017. Here's your age and your mash bill. What's interesting is, as a company, they pride themselves on transparency, and their distillery is set up to look very new age.
I was going to say, everything they do, it's purposeful. So their bottle reflects transparency. Yep. How they do their labeling, the build and the design of their distillery, it's all open. It's like an open kitchen concept.
So, but what's interesting is, here you've got a lot of focus on tradition. Yeah. I mean,
we are Old Forester.
Fiddler on the Roof tradition. And it's gorgeous.
Oh, it's classic.
It's classic, and you can look up the age. You can look up the mash bill, but you know what you're not going to find on it. You're not going to find an age statement. Now, what they will tell you is they made the casks. They fired the casks. They distilled it. They aged it because it's Brown Forman.
And we're not, and that's the point I think we try to drive home a lot is we're not knocking the tradition and the old standbys, but also don't knock the newcomers because a lot of them are doing really cool things.
They are.
Yeah.
What have we learned tonight?
I think we've learned a lot.
We've learned a lot. We've learned a lot in this series.
We've learned a lot in this series. I feel like we have really pushed forward our nose tasting finish profiles.
We have.
I think it was neat to do a series where we know the proof is the same and like the quality points are the same. Because, as you know, the whole point of the Bottled and Bond Act was to establish kind of a quality level. And I think that was an interesting way to compare. And one thing I learned and I find so interesting is conceptually, that should mean it's all pretty similar. Because you have all of these qualities that have to be the same.
True.
So different.
Oh, yeah.
So different. And I think that's neat. I think it's really cool.
Absolutely.
We didn't have a dud in the bunch of 16.
No, what we had was different profiles, different strokes for different folks.
Right, but we didn't have a single one that we were like, this is terrible, leave it behind. We didn't rank any less than That Dog Will Hunt, did we?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, I didn't think we did.
No.
Yeah.
With that, thank you for joining us on this journey.
Yes.
Please like and subscribe. Please like and subscribe.
For B.
She needs your validation.
I do.
I just want to know that someone heard me. Please enjoy we have some upcoming episodes. One of them is called Bottom Shelf Buffalo Trace.
Y'all, I took
we are exploring the lower realms of the Sazerac family.
It's like being back in college.
It's worse than being in college.
And we're going to talk about their the Sazerac game.
Yes.
The allocation game.
And
how well they play it.
Part of that conversation begins with
the first
Bottom
episode.
Shelf Buffalo Trace. So
you're going to learn something, I promise.
You are going to learn something.
If you turn it in.
And you're going to learn how vodka has something to do with whiskey.
Yeah, and it's probably going to make you a little bit angry.
It is. But hey.
But for now.
It's capitalism, baby.
Way to go, Old Forester.
Yeah, way to go. You are
our champion.
You are the champion.
God.
You are the champion.
Let's spare them.
No time for losers. You are the champion.
I'm going to drink more now.
Of the world. We would have Homer Simpson doing that, but
it's
copyrighted. Cheers, y'all.
Right, cheers,
we love
y'all.
you too, Bandit.
Yay, Bandit.